Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss about some of the news which is going right now in India. Let's talk about some national and international news. Petrol and diesel prices have been hiked by a record for 62 paisa per liter and that of diesel by 64 paisa as oil companies for the 8th day in a row adjusted retail rates in line with cost since ending 82-day hiatus in the rate revision. Petrol price in Delhi was hiked by rupees 72.75 per litre from rupees 75.16, while diesel rates also increased from rupees 74.03 to 73.39 according to price notification by marketing companies. Rates have been increased across the country and vary from state to state depending on the instance of local sales tax or VAT. The 62 paisa litre increase in petrol and 64 paisa hike in diesel price is the highest surge in rates since the daily price revision was started in June 2017. This is the 8th daily increase in rates in a row since oil companies on June 7 restarted revising prices in line with cost after ending a 82-day hiatus. Oil PUC companies, instead of passing the excise duty hikes to consumers, adjusted them against the fall in retail rates that was warranted because of international oil prices falling to 2 decades low. Now let's talk about what is going on in LOC along the border. An army personnel was killed and two others were injured as Pakistani troops opened fire and shelled areas along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the third fatality in the Pakistani firing and shelling on forward posts and villages in the twin districts of Poonch and Rajouri this month. The latest firing and shelling from across the border took place in Shahpur Karni sector on Saturday night, drawing strong retaliation by the Indian Army. 3 Indian Army personnel were injured in the Pakistani firing and were immediately evacuated to hospital where one of them succumbed to injuries. They said the casualties suffered by the Pakistani Army in retaliatory action were not known immediately. Now let's get into another topic. COVID-19 causes problems for migrants as job losses increases. Hundreds of migrants from North Karnataka districts are returning to Bengaluru and are again in search of jobs. One migrant said he was in village for 2 months but couldn't find any work. He thought he would start a small business but didn't get any support. He says it is not so difficult to find jobs in big cities like Bengaluru, but it's difficult to find a job in a village. About 30 people from his village have come back to Bengaluru between June 6 and 8. Half of them have found jobs while the others are still looking. They were earlier employed as drivers, construction workers and domestic help. They know about the surge in COVID-19 numbers and the uncertainties here, but say they can't sustain themselves without working. However, a substantial number of migrant returnees hope that the talk about developing rural-centric economies would have translated into action on the ground. The reverse migration has brought a spectrum of people, those who wanted better social and economic prospects, Dalit and tribal families who wanted to overcome caste discrimination and grow beyond the jobs linked to their caste, people who wanted better schooling for the children, and those who want to sustain their family right back to their villages where they started. But they don't see efforts being made to help them start a new venture or to generate employment opportunities in the village. India, along with 12 other countries, has led an initiative here aimed at spreading fact-based content to counter misinformation on the coronavirus. With over 130 nations endorsing the global call to fight the infodemic relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. On the initiative by Australia, Chile, France, Georgia, India, Indonesia, Latvia, Lebanon, Mauritius, Mexico, Norway, Senegal and South Africa, a total of 132 member states endorsed a cross-regional statement on infodemic or manipulated information. UN Secretary General Antonio has said that apart from fighting the deadly COVID-19 pandemic, the world is seeing a dangerous outbreak of misinformation about harmful health advice, hate speech, and wild conspiracy theories. An antidote to this pandemic of misinformation is fact-based news and analysis. India's permanent mission to the UN said that it supported the UN Communications Response Initiative. Congress has flagged failure of Modi government on foreign policy front. Nepal Parliament on Saturday passed the bill to update the country's new political map showing Indian areas as its part, has given the main opposition party Congress a handle to put Modi government in the dock and raise questions on its colossal failure on the foreign policy front. BJP, which has repeatedly claimed that the Modi government has been able to do what Congress could not do in the past 70 years, was attacked by one after another Congress spokesperson who accused the ruling party of undoing the work of last 70 years. You know where you stand when even Nepal has the audacity to include your territory in its official work. You stand nowhere. Colossal failure on the foreign policy front for the BJP government. This move by Nepal is said former Congress spokesperson. Another party Congress spokesperson said that the approval of map by Parliament of Nepal including Indian territory into Nepal is a massive failure of foreign policy being steered with close eyes by BJP government. Social media accuse the government of putting politics over diplomacy and governance, alleging this is a huge diplomatic failure of Modi government. They are undoing the work of the last 70 years. Now let's talk about what US President has addressed the graduate. President Trump on Saturday addressed the new graduating class of the West Point Military Academy, praising the righteous glory of the American warrior, but largely sidestepping recent controversies over racial unrest and the military's role in putting it down. America is the greatest country in human history, Trump told the 1,000+ newly minted second lieutenants as they sat well spaced under bright sun on the parade ground of US Military Academy. But he made no direct mention of the recent racial turmoil and only glancingly referred to recent dissent from top military figures over his threat to employ active duty troops to put down protest. Trump's closest mention came when he said, "I also want to thank the men and women of our National Guard for responding to challenges from hurricanes and natural disasters to ensuring peace, safety, and the constitutional rule of law on our sides." Thank you for watching the video.